Y'all ready to roll? It's time for the remix. It's time to see that dude Parlay Mateos Lane in Deez Glp-1 streets. Known by many as Paul on wheels. We making it do what it does. Letting people know how I feel. Let's roll. Yeah, we talking health, talking grind, breaking barriers clean. No excuses on the journey, we stay chasing the dream. Get your mind locked in, set your goals on repeat. We got ups, we got downs, but we still don't miss a beat. In GLP-1 streets, we moving with pride. Hear the trends, hear the wins. Got creators worldwide, we make it do what it does. Never stopping to climb, living better every day, one step at a time. Shout out RMZ, always keeping it real. It's Dairy on with the fire, got that GLP-1 feel. Diddy the downsizing diva, simply Taisha in the zone. Losing it grades, bring the truth, steady holding her own. Calamity Jane slide through, yeah, she bringing the flame. Perfectly Pamela moving strong, everybody know her name. Pammy in the mix too, yeah, we shout her out the same. Teddy D and Toby rolling steady on the rise. G's one running balls, baby, locked in on that lifestyle prize. Traces of Twan, stay consistent every day. Cookie cheering everybody on in a special way. Maya Mindy holding it down from the start. Purple bell flowers slid into them jeans, stood apart. Held to the beat, keeping the conscience tight. Barb health at any cost, queen of the streets. That's right, yeah. Chris conquering the scale, yeah, he taking control. Life is shy, glowing steady, body and soul. Reset with honey sub, keeping focus aligned. Grant on his GLP-1 journey review, dropping knowledge every time. Paula doing the thing, staying strong, staying locked in, pushing right along. Just do it, Brit. You got it, smart. Don't quit. It gets better bit by bit. Ain't me losing it steady, keeping a stride. Founding me in the mix with that purpose and pride. Gen supporting the crew, showing love front row. Carnival muscle bringing discipline to the flow. Keely Eddie from across the sea. Along the pushing through, never quitting the seat. My man G with my rolling life on track. Sweet tea singing while she dropping that slack. Vanity keeping everybody on their toes. Welcome TT to the club, that's how it goes. Miss Toy the review, teaching in the classroom and the streets. Mia doing a thing with that grind on repeat. From the south, Kimmy J, now Renee 1C. Lakeisha on the journey, chasing victory. Those is a Shawnee, steady making play. And Jen in the comments, dropping knowledge every day. And if I missed anybody, just know I love y'all. We'll put you in a remix one day. Put you in a remix one day. Yeah. Arjadine, Felicia Murray B, and Joe's cross the sea. Yeah, this GLP-1 movement hits globally. We stay focused on the prize, on the light that we see. Welcome to Deez GLP-1 streets.
What is up, and hello, everyone. It is my honor, it is my privilege to welcome you to Deez GLP-1 streets. I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and I am so delighted to talk to our guest we have today. Now, this woman right here is who I call the queen in these GLP-1 streets, because to lose the amount of weight that she's lost, over 280 pounds, to have been in this fight for many years, to have overcome what she has been overcome, she is the queen in these GLP-1 streets. So when the queen talks, we're going to listen. So we welcome everyone who is tuned in. We got a special time. It's 12:30 my time. It's 3:30 her time. Normally we do this about 6:30, but you know, I always accommodate my guests, and I was going to accommodate Barb so we can work with her schedule. I'm on the West Coast. She is in Florida, even though she used to hang out in the West Coast too, here in San Diego. So there's a California connection. But thank all of you who are tuning in. We have 25 in the live this early in the game. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Everybody is saying hello to everybody. Hey, what's going on? Harji, Grant, Linda, all the ones out there. If I missed you, you know it ain't on purpose. You know, it's just the screen goes so fast, but keep it up. Keep saying hello to everyone. And if you don't mind, since this is a very special broadcast, talking to Barb, 280 pounds down, if you wouldn't mind sharing this live right now, so we can get as many as possible to tune in and hear Barb's story, but also Barb's words of wisdom. Barb is one of them like me. We ain't all about that fluff. We about that action boss. We talk about what's real. We talk about things that no doubt the community needs to hear. And I am just so delighted to have her on. And let me tell you what I just did. Some of you might have seen I released a short over the weekend, had my DEXA scan. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to do a live on my DEXA scan. My DEXA scan is really run by an AI, so I can ask the AI question and it can, it can explain my DEXA scan. But I put out a short where I lost over, I'm 83 pounds now. 83 pounds down now. Can you believe that? When I started February 14, 2025, I was 348 pounds. My biggest, I was almost 400 pounds, but I am now 83 pounds down. Let that sink in for a moment. A quadriplegic power wheelchair user lost 83 pounds. Don't walk, don't stand, but lost 83 pounds. Can y'all believe that? I'm actually going to do a video on that and have some fun with it and everything, but I just wanted to share that with you all. So if you have any questions for Queen Barb, make sure you hit it with the 3 Qs, and we'll definitely answer that. But without any further delay, the Queen is here. What's going on, Queen Barb? How you doing?
Hey, I'm still dancing to the music.
I saw you.
I saw you in the music.
I saw you in the green room doing your dance, doing your thing, and I was like, Barb is getting it. Barb is like, hey, doing his thing.
Right? I'm so crazy. I'm so crazy. So I have a quick question. It says that I can connect to YouTube to talk to. Is that okay? Or is it going to turn me off with you?
No, go ahead and do your thing. We'll try it.
Okay. I just want to make sure that you don't go away.
No worries.
If you do, I don't want to do that. Yeah, you went away. Okay, I just turned it off. Sorry, guys, I'm not talking to you. You'll have to translate for me.
No worries. Got you covered,
hey,
Barb.
How are you?
Barb.
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, Barb. I remember when I first started this journey. I remember when you first commented on one of my videos. I was so gracious because I would see you in different lives, see you in different cruises, and to have you comment on one of my videos, it was really an honor, Barb, because I was new in this game. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I was like a fish out of water. Didn't know what was happening, but you have been so gracious to me, Barb. I love you dearly. You are just, I consider you someone special to me because what you have been able to overcome and what you've been able to do, it's just my honor to talk to you, Queen, because your journey is something we all need to celebrate. We all need to talk about because you're like RMZ, having medical issues, medical problems in conjunction with obesity. And you and him are both like Lazarus. I mean, both of you just come back from whatever you guys are going through, and we can learn so much from you, Barb. So, I really, really appreciate you. How's the weather down in Florida?
It's raining at the moment. It's raining. And I wanted to say, Paul, that I feel that same way when you comment on my videos. I'm like, oh, he did that. That's so cool. I love it. I love it. And excuse me, but you have a medical issue or two yourself. So you're kicking it too. So and you know what's really interesting about all of this is that I think if we delved into each person, we'd find something going on in their life that they're overcoming. It doesn't matter if it's medical, emotional, mental, financial, whatever, that each person has their own hurdle to cross. And I think that is worth honoring every single person. So
that is so true. You know what, Barb? I'm gonna do something I never do. I'm gonna dip into the comments at first. Go to everybody saying their hellos, and then after that, Barb, we're gonna get into your amazing story. I mean, you and Megan got to be like the one of the best mother and daughter duels out here in these GLP-1 streets, and I got to be really gratifying to do it with Megan. And I think is your son Chris doing it as well too?
Tristan, yeah, he's going to do
Tristan.
it. He's going to do one with RMZ, but yes, he's on tirzepatide. Well, he's on Zepbound at the moment. So yes, tirzepatide, but Zepbound. Megan's on tirzepatide. I'm on Mounjaro. Tristan's on Zepbound.
Nice. Harjareen is saying hello. Hey, Harjareen. Mia,
Hey.
what's going on? And Grant's in the house. Grant is on that 15 milligrams like you, Barb. So he's like killing it. Doses of Shawnee's in the house. What's going on? Shawnee, hello. Grace, what's going on? Grace, I got my earpiece in. Grace, thank you so much. Grace is working today in that classroom. I feel you, girl. Are you off for spring break, Grace? But thank you, Grace, for tuning in and checking us out.
Over now.
Okay.
Good.
No worries. Now that definitely makes sense. All right, Barb. So let's talk about, for ones who may not know your journey when you started, this battle, this disease of obesity. Barb, tell us how you became the queen in these GLP-1 streets. What led you to look at a way to help you overcome some of the challenges that you have? So the floor is yours, Barb.
Thank you. That, the queen is like no hurdle at all for me to jump over. I better perform well. I grew up fat. I weigh now what I weighed when I was 9 years old. So I grew up very fat. I use the word fat for myself. It just comes out of my mouth because I've done a lot of fat activism since the late 80s and did a lot of speaking and things like that. And I'm going to get to where we are, but yes, I've had all different kinds of issues going on. I took Fen-Phen in 1995 and lost 111 pounds, and then they took it away because everybody was getting the heart valve issue, which is exactly what I did as well. I got that as well. And I got a big old $50,000 reward for that. Award. I call it a reward. And I used that to pay for the gastric bypass. I had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass in 2001, lost 210 pounds, and regained 250. So for many, many years, I said I failed the R&Y. I failed the gastric bypass. And it's actually, I didn't fail it. It was my biology that kept me wanting to be fat again. So and how tall are you?
I am 6 foot. I'm 6'6". 6'6".
And what was your highest?
My highest weight? For almost 400 pounds.
And I'm 5'1", and I started in April 22nd of 2022 at 405 pounds.
Wow.
So you can imagine how the picture that you had up in the beginning, for your thumbnail, not even near the fattest that I ever was. So I was incredibly immobile for all of the last 10 years before I went on GLP-1s, and was not able to walk even the 5 feet to the bathroom without a walker. So I was really very sick, very despondent, incredibly depressed, and I'm skipping over a whole lot. I was diagnosed with diabetes in 95. I've had chronic kidney disease for 30 years. Just my family's Cuban. Everybody has diabetes in my family. Everybody. People would say to me, fat as I was, you're going to die. And I was like, everybody dies. What's a big deal? Everybody dies. You're going to get diabetes. Oh, I already have it. You're going to get sick from diabetes. Oh, in my family, people get their feet cut off. They go blind. They had heart attacks. And my grandfather in Cuba actually died from gangrene that started on a foot went to his other leg and they amputated him at the knees, and then the gangrene went up to his groin, and that's where he ended up dying, was having gangrene of the groin. So that was pretty sad to me when I learned that. That was recent.
Wow.
But I was like, go ahead.
How tall are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, 5'1".
5'1". Okay.
5'1", and I was 400. Yeah, 405 at 5'1". I'm still 5'1", and now I weigh 125.
Wow. Please continue. I mean, that had to
crazy.
be, that had to be shocking hearing about your grandfather and everything. And please continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Right. You're fine. Ask anything. So, during COVID, I knew I was going to die. Everybody, the news and everything was like, if you're fat, you're going to die. And I really thought that was what was going to happen. And I did not want to take up a bed from somebody who wasn't going to die. So I put up over my bed, I put a DNR, a do not resuscitate, for the EMS. When they came, I didn't want them to resuscitate me because I didn't want them to take me to the hospital to take up a bed for somebody who weighed less, because I was going to die anyway. Everyone knew that fat people were going to go. So I did. I had that DNR. And then April 22nd of 2022, I was in the hospital after I did get COVID, and I had diastolic heart failure, and I also was having issues with parts of my lungs because of COVID. And in that moment, and I'm laying in the bed and I've got the oxygen on my face, and I've got, how it is when the sheets are back and they're crumbled under you and you're trying to get into a position, and no matter what position I was, it hurt. So there I am laying there at 405 pounds, and 4 cardiologists were in the room. And one of them walked up to me and he crossed his arms and he said, "You will either change your life or you're going to live in a nursing home." Death didn't scare me. Diabetes didn't scare me. Losing my autonomy and going into a nursing home, that scared the holy F out of me. And in that moment that he said it, I had a flash of what I would look like. 400 pounds, sitting in a wheelchair. I'd be in bed, and some woman who hated her job would be wiping my butt and wiping under my belly, because most of us who've been incredibly obese understand that it's called intertrigo, but it's like a yeast infection under your belly. And mine was not just under my belly, it was under my boobs, under my belly, behind my knees, in my butt crack. And I'm picturing this in that flash. And in that moment, my life changed. My life changed. I'm going to cry. That moment, I quit eating Uber Eats. I did not understand the disease of obesity at that time. I did not understand that that's why I ate so much. Years later, about 2.5 years later, I had AI take my food receipts from Uber Eats and Instacart and figure out how many calories I was eating a day. And I was eating between 8,000 and 10,000 calories a day. True. Wow. That's how you get to be 400 pounds. That's some, can I use the F word? That's some effing sickness right there. That if people didn't think that obesity was a disease before, holy camole, that was it. So I quit eating Uber Eats that day. Within 2 months, I was on Trulicity, which is a GLP-1 for the diabetes. My hemoglobin A1C was a 9.0, which is not pleasant, but I was on 2 insulins. I'm like eating this Uber Eats while I'm on 2 insulins. And my glucoses are going to, like 500. Oh, it's pretty low today at 500. Oh, good. I'm doing okay. I was oblivious to how ill I was. I was just oblivious. And I think that a lot of that comes from the normalizing that I had since I was 10 years old and realized that I was fat. At 10 years old, my mom took me to the doctor and he put me on speed. That was what they did, amphetamines back then. So I was on speed at 10, Weight Watchers at 12. And then every freaking thing that came along, I was on. Every diet, every fun little, anything we could do. Like one of my favorites that people talk about I'm a retired midwife, so I know a little bit more. They talk about the HCG diet and how that's 500 calories a day. And I did the HCG diet several different times, but HCG, where they get that is from the pee of a pregnant woman, and they inject that into our body. True stuff. True stuff. Wow. And it's supposed to make us lose weight. What made us lose weight? The pee from a pregnant woman or the 500 calories a day for 30 days? Come on now.
Yeah. Wow. Barb,
so anyway.
If I unpack a few things and then we'll keep on with your journey.
Yeah. Go.
Go. Barb, when you think about when you were ordering the Uber Eats, what was it that kind of in your body was saying, this is something that's normal for me? This is just how it is. It is what it is. And did you see the need to make some changes before the doctor had that come to Jesus moment with you, or were you one of those just
tried. I gave up. I just gave up. By the time I'm in bed and my children have to fly in from across the country to come clean my room because I couldn't even sweep the floor. I couldn't clean the bathroom. I couldn't do anything. My kids had to do everything. And they lived far away, and they would fly in to come. They each took turns and would come in to help me. So I really feel when it came to the eating, as we talk about it, I can remember that autopilot.
Yeah.
I would order 2 family-sized things, like if I was eating at Buca de Beppo.
Oh, yeah.
And I would order 2 family-sized things and a side of something fat. And I would eat continuously. I've learned since I have an ED that is not one that is typical for everybody. So I don't have it written down right here, I'd tell you. But anyway, part of my illness was eating continually. I didn't have bulimia, and I didn't toss it. I just ate and ate. I would sleep for an hour and wake up and eat for an hour, and go to sleep again for a couple hours and wake up and eat for an hour, over and over. And it really, I was in a lot of pain physically, as you can imagine. Trying to lift a leg to get out of bed was momentous. It was incredibly difficult. And so we're going to add on top of the 10,000 calories a day, we're going to add 3 bottles of amaretto a week.
Okay. And we got to talk for a minute, Barb. You speak in my old language. Amaretto sours used to be my jam. I used to go to the club back in the day. So I would go to the club back in the days, right? So to see this big guy at a club, what do you want? Some beer? That's enough. Give me an amaretto sour. So I like little dainty drinks. So you talk about amaretto.
I was going to say, it's a pretty pussy drink right there for you.
Yes, you are speaking my language. So the amaretto and that and the eating. And Barb, you said this already. If people don't think this is a disease, they got something wrong with them, because for us to kind of think that way, there's something going on that we need help with. And Barb, I think we're passing that Rubicon moment where some people are now understanding the disease that we have of obesity and the struggle that we have. So Barb, you had the amaretto, you had the buca de pepo, the family style meals. Megan and Tristan were coming, to spend time
And
with
my
you.
daughter Amy as well. Yeah.
Your daughter Amy too. And what would they say to you? Would they be like, "Mom, let's get some help," or what would they say?
Nobody was allowed to talk about my weight, including my mom. I'm so worried about you. I'm so worried about. And finally, I had to say to her, if you don't stop talking about my weight, I will not come visit you.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an absolute forbidden topic. And I haven't done it yet with the kids, because with Megan and Tristan, when they gained weight, I didn't talk to them either and ask them what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a non-topic in the family, and something that I think that all of us need to go to therapy about, to be able to work together, to be able to say, what happened here? What happened here? So we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I don't want to talk a lot about their stuff, but both Tristan and Megan, when they hit 35 is when it happened. Mm-hmm. So right about midlife, getting into midlife. And I write about epigenetics, which is the passing on of a disease. So the passing on of obesity happens from mother to child while you're growing the infant inside you. And makes me feel horrible, guilty. But I got it from my mom, who got it from her mom, who got it from her mom. I also got some from my dad with the Cuban side, blah, 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 blah. So trying to pinpoint whose fault it was is irrelevant. It's Absolutely. Irrelevant. So it's the issue is to stop it. Mm-hmm. Stop the disease from continuing to go. I wanted to talk about that amaretto for 1 second.
Definitely.
3 bottles of amaretto. 1 bottle, Paul, has 60 teaspoons of sugar.
Oh my goodness.
60. It's over 2,000 calories for that bottle alone.
Wow. Wow.
And, again, I'm sitting here and it's almost surreal. It's almost like it's somebody else talking.
Yeah.
That this was me and doing all these things. And blessedly, I have enough pictures and witnesses to absolutely say, oh, yeah, that was you. That was you. Yeah, that was before the gastric bypass. That was right before the gastric bypass. Now, what I want you to look at is my belly. I look like I'm 9.5, 18 months pregnant. And that is our visceral fat in our belly. That fat right there. That's why all my Cuban relatives, the women and the men look 9 months pregnant. And that's the visceral fat that collects right there. So anybody you see with a beer belly, that beer belly isn't beer, it's fat. And that fat embeds into our organs. Mm-hmm. It's wrapped around our liver, and then it seeps into the liver. It wraps around the pancreas, and it can seep into there. It goes into our heart. That fat actually moves up when there's so much of it, and it goes around our kidneys and squeezes, and it does all these things. I write in Substack, and in Substack, I wrote a piece last week about placentas, and I've got a picture of a placenta that was from a mom who was super morbidly obese, and then I've got a normal placenta. But placentas inside the woman, while she's growing a baby, collects that extra fat. and squishes the baby inside that placenta and covers it. Fat is yellow. So when you get your DEXA, you'll see the yellow. It usually is yellow is the color that they do for the visceral fat especially. But the fat you can see on your arms and all that as well. But the visceral fat, that's the one that really is difficult to get rid of. And every single one of us who has lost a lot of weight will tell you the belly is the last to go. It is the absolute last to go. So that means you've got to work on all your body and be like, oh, I look so good. My weight's so good, but I got this belly. That means keep going, honey. That means keep going.
And Barb, when you look at when the doctor kind of had the come to Jesus moment with you, and you decided to do certain things, what was your family's reaction? Did you share it with them and say, "Hey, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna do something a little different this time," or do you kind of keep it to yourself and like, I'm just gonna do it and whatever they see, they say?
So this is hilarious, Paul. This is hilarious. I quit, and you can use your judgment and understand why, but I quit all social media in 2016. We all know why. So I quit it in 2016. So I turned off the cable in my TV. I never watched news again. It was I only knew about the COVID stuff going on because my family would tell me about it. So I figured, if something falls and we all go away in a bomb, then what's the big deal? I don't need to watch it on the news coming at me. If it's here, it's here. So I quit all social media. And when I tried to rejoin Facebook, like years later, I found out I was permanently banned, and I've tried to appeal it, and I'm permanently banned from Facebook. God knows why. I have no idea why. They won't tell me. So in a way, that's a blessing for me. So I was oblivious. Still to this day, Paul, I have never seen an Ozempic commercial. True stuff.
Wow.
I can sing it because everybody sings it.
Come on, Barb.
I have never
Barb, let's sing it. Let's sing it, Barb. Oh,
Ozempic.
So, Barb.
But I've never seen any Mounjaro commercials, Zepbound, Ozempic, Wegovy. I've never seen any of those commercials. So when I was on Trulicity, I'm thinking it's another insulin, right? I'm like, I had no idea what it was. And I quit eating Uber Eats that day, as I said. And then I went on the Trulicity. Trulicity's paperwork says you may lose 3 to 5 pounds. And I was like, yeah, that means I'm going to gain 30 to 50 is what it means. Because I never lost weight when it said you were going to lose weight. It was supposed something like that. But what ended up happening was on Trulicity, I lost 86 pounds. It wasn't the Trulicity. It was stopping the Uber Eats and stop drinking. So then when I got on Mounjaro, let me tell you how that happened. That was Megan. Here I am on Trulicity, and Amy and I are on the computer looking at Megan. We had talked to her 2 weeks earlier, and then we look at her again, and it's like, what is going on? You have lost so much weight in 2 weeks. And she says, I'll tell you later. So she calls me and she says, it's Mounjaro. And I'm like, what's that? She's like, Mounjaro, blah, blah. And I was like, Mount Kilimanjaro. I had to try and remember it because I didn't know what it was. So I was on 4.5 of Trulicity, which is the highest dose, called my endocrinologist, and I said, what's this? She said, I don't know if your insurance will pay for it, but we'll try. And I said, okay. And she did. And there was a PA, of course. There was a prior authorization, and it went through. Now is when I began researching. Now I learned what a GLP-1 is. And Trulicity is a GLP-1 too. It's dulaglutide. So move from 4.5 of Trulicity directly to, and people are going to go, directly to 10 milligrams of Mounjaro. No side effects, except for a little constipation. I know people are at 2 and 2.5 and, having the most difficult time in the world with nausea and vomiting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Went from the 4.5 of Trulicity right to 10. 1 month later, I was on 12.5. 1 month later, 10, 12.5, and then 15. And then I've been on 15 ever since. So in September of 23 is when I went on 15 milligrams, and I've been on ever since. And I am now what I call remission from obesity. People call it maintenance, but I call it remission from obesity. That I've been in maintenance now for 14 months. Where am I? Yeah, 14 months.
Barb,
so on 15. No going off. Not going to spread it out. Not going to lower it. I tell people I feel like, the logs that people run on in the water, they do the contests that they do. I feel like I'm on a log and holding still and balancing, and the holy heck if I'm going to move one toenail to get off balance, because I feel so wonderful where I am now.
And Barb, you look wonderful. You look wonderful too, Barb. I wish I was there right now, because I would give you the biggest hug, and I would kiss you.
I'd sit on your lap and give you a hug.
Yes, that would be amazing, because you have touched so many lives, Barb. And think about that. If you never would have listened to that doctor, if you never had that moment where you're like, I don't want to be in a nursing home, I want to do that, Barb. Think about how many lives you wouldn't have touched. And then look at the lives that you've touched, Barb. People look at you and they're like, Barb is an amazing story. And this is where I kind of differ from ones in our community. And Barb, you can let me know if my thinking is off with this. But how some people say, don't compare yourself to other people's journey. Now, I agree. We all have our own journeys. We all have our own thing. But put me up with those who are like the GOATs in this game. You, RMZ, and others out there who have just had this major success. Even though I may not be able to mimic your success, Barb, but if I put myself around you being successful, guess what it's going to do for me? I'm going to learn some of your habits. I'm going to learn some of their habits. I'm going to learn all these things that's going to help me out in my journey, rather than looking at someone telling me, you know what? It's okay. You don't have to change anything you're eating. You can still eat Uber Eats. You can do all this. I'm going to show everybody how they can cheat the system and still have success, which is a doggone lie. So, Barb, let me go to this question right quick, Barb, and then I'll let you go ahead and chime in.
Okay, and then I want to circle right back to being somebody in the community. I want to circle back to that. So Let me write a little note. Go ahead, ask the question.
Absolutely. And Barb, this is your world. So whatever you want today, this is Barb's world. So here's a question from Grant. I want to say how special a person Barb is to me. G Money, I echo that. And she is such a continual inspiration to me, being one of my first people I met in these YouTube streets. Thank you, Barb, so much. Here's another question, Barb.
Grant, I love you. Grant's so wonderful. He's so wonderful.
And then we'll circle back to the community. Paula's in the house. Hey, Paula, what's going on? Paula said, I've seen that you walk 4 to 6 miles, not every day, Barb, but every day. That's how we say it in my community. We say every day.
Every day? Okay.
Yeah, every day. That's how we say it. Is that because you enjoy walking?
I tell people, because I was walking over my life. I have broken my feet 3 times just trying to walk for exercise. One time I was on the Wii Fit board and I broke my foot, and I had 3 surgeries to repair it. 1 time I actually tripped over a scale, and I had to have a true stuff in a birth center and broke my ankle and had to have 3 surgeries. So then those last 10 years of being in bed for doing nothing but eating and drinking. When people tell me about, you have to go for a walk, I don't want to go out, I don't want to do this, I tell people I walk because I can. Mm-hmm. That's why I walk.
I love that, Barb. Miss Linda. Actually, I'm gonna have Linda in these streets one day too. She and I are gonna have an interview, so we're gonna hear Linda's story too. So Miss Linda says, Barb, what have you found challenging in remission? Right? That's what we're saying, Barb, right? We calling it obesity remission, right? That's what we're calling it. For you, and how have you managed it, Barb?
You know, it's an interesting thought, because for me, maintenance is the same as what it was 3 years ago when I was just still losing weight. I really have not changed a whole lot at all. I think that if I had to say I set those patterns before and now I just continue them, I think that that's probably the most likely way. I never counted calories. I ate healthy choice and lean cuisine because I wasn't able to cook because I was so big. I walked when I could. It took me 2 months to be able to walk without a walker to the bathroom. It took me 8 months total to be able to get to the mailbox at the end of the driveway. So, and it took me about a year to get to the corner of the street, which wasn't very far. Mm-hmm. So all of that did not, as I think back, it does not seem like it was a conscious thing to do. It just happened. When it was like somebody said about lifting weights, and I'm like, I don't have any weights, but what do? I've got soup cans. I can lift soup cans. Mm-hmm. And I lifted soup cans, and then it was Progresso soup cans because they were bigger. And then I moved on to Dawn dish soap containers, and then it would move up to Tide, and I just used what I had because I didn't have the money to do that, to get weights and things like that. As it is right now, still all I have are bands and 2, 3, and 5 pound weights that I work with. And my DEXA scans have been wonderful. I have kept so much of my muscle. I lose muscle because when you're 400 pounds, you have gobs of muscle. And so you lose muscle, and that's normal. And so the last 2 DEXAs that I had, my muscle stayed pretty steady. So that's the good part. So yeah, maintenance, I don't know. I don't know if maintenance is much different. Now I cook. Now I live in a place where I can cook, and I'm experimenting and having some fun with that. I've got a whole bunch of lean cuisine and healthy choice in the freezer, and they're all getting, crystals all over them. But yeah, like I said, I never counted a calorie. When I heard about a TDEE thing that you watch what goes in and watch what goes out, I'm like, who the holy hell wants to compute that much? I mean, there's people that love spreadsheets. I know Lorraine on the downsides loves spreadsheets. I do. I have a math disability, for real. I have a math disability of dyscalculia. No spitting. It's really true. And the idea of having to do math for what I put in my mouth and what I do with my feet, it just seems so odd. It just seems so odd. So let me go back, since we're talking about weight again. Let me go back just a tiny little bit.
Absolutely.
My 280 pounds. That's real nice. You know what? That is so far in the distance of importance for me. If I could wear a sandwich board everywhere I went, every day, showing my labs. That is what makes me proud. That is what I did this for. It was for the labs. Hemoglobin A1C from a 9 to 5.1. My chronic kidney disease went from almost needing dialysis. It was severe, and now it's normal. And then my metabolic disease in my liver was so bad that they were like, you know, you look like you've had 4,000 years of alcoholism. Completely gone. My liver is absolutely beautiful now.
Yeah.
My asthma is gone. My sleep apnea is gone. Just that is what makes me proud. That is what I do this for. The weight's fun. It's a fun thing to say. It's one of the easiest things for people to go, oh, wow. And it, you know, it's, I'm not minimizing it at all, but the weight was ancillary to what was going on inside my body, which brings me to one point I want to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
When people look at the scale, and that's how they're judging whether the medications are working, I have to remind you that is so little. What happens first is I picture GLP-1s, and with Mounjaro with the GIP as well, I picture it being a soothing bath to our organs and to our blood, and just like massaging it very gently. And when the organs go, ah, that's when the weight starts to go down. And it's just, I mean, it's very simplified. It doesn't do it like that. But that's a way to know that what happens on the inside of the body happens long before. And those of you who have had food noise, what I call food cacophony, if you've had food noise and you've had it disappear within those first 12 hours, there's no weight coming off. There's nothing coming off. That is your cue that, oh my gosh, the medication is real. And now if you live your life so that that medication is real in your body, and you're like, okay, I can make a decision. Do I want to eat that? Do I not want to eat that? Am I full? You just kind of live in this new world of quiet where you get to actually think and wonder, is that what I really want? And that's what the medication does. And that's when the weight comes off, is after everything is getting corrected on the inside of our body from the medication.
I love that, Barb. That is a great explanation of these GLP-1s. And Barb, now some of us will hear you say that and be like, oh, Barb's telling me I can still eat what I want to eat, what I want to do, all this stuff, and just let the shot, you know, do all this stuff. So Barb, what do we have to do? Because I'm a little over 13, almost 14 months into my journey. Barb, what kind of advice could you give me to stay the course? Thankfully, I have not been nervous to get off the course. You know, I'm well adjusted now, where even when I go out of town for work, you know, in my line of work, you know, we get invited to these press junkets, we get open bar, we get all this stuff, and Barb, I can go by an open bar and not have one drink now. And Barb, they got the Centennial Amaretto. I'm sorry, they got the Centennial Grand Marnier, and I ain't even touched it, Barb. So what can you do to help some of us?
I have not touched amaretto. I tasted an amaretto and it tasted like dirt. Tasted like mud, and I haven't had any since either. None.
I've noticed that, Barb. I've noticed that stuff. I thought I couldn't do it out. I tasted it and I'm like, what in the world is this?
Yeah, exactly. So what is, I don't like to say that there's any bad foods, because there's not bad foods. There's bad quantities of food. Mm-hmm. And I just naturally moved into, I've had one time, McDonald's fries were my jam. That was the thing. I would get 3 supersized fries before I went to work. I worked at Disney for a while. 3 supersized fries and a Diet Coke, because the Diet Coke, would save calories, right? And go to work and eat them before I even got to work. And then at lunchtime, I would go get another supersize and 2 fish sandwiches. So McDonald's fries for me are an absolute no. It's to me, that is my alcoholism,
Okay.
my drug abuse, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot eat McDonald's fries. I eat fries, but I won't eat McDonald's fries.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I honestly think that being able to move more and not be in pain was the reward that I needed to stay the course. I don't know. There's a lot in our community, a lot of discussion about finances aside and insurance aside, who's allowed to take these medications. Do you have to be a BMI of 30? Do you have to be a BMI of 25? Who gets to take them? What about if they've got a family history of cardiac disease? Should they be allowed to do it preemptively? I think so. But I don't think we're at that level of knowledge at the moment. But when people are smaller, I don't think that they've hurt as much as I have, and as much as you have, and as much as RMZ has. I don't think, I feel that the people who want to go off the medication when they get to their weight, I believe that they have not physically hurt enough or been sick enough to understand that when they go off the medication, it's all going to come back. Even if the weight didn't come back, your kidney's going to get screwed up again, your liver, your everything. You're going to get the belly again, and the weight does come back on. And the weight is a sign of the damage that's being happened. Again, damage happens first, fat comes second. Just like when we're doing it the opposite, fat goes last and the healing on the inside goes first. So for those who have not been in pain or have not, I hate to say this, but have not been given enough humiliation by society. I mean, I've been made fun of since I was 10 years old, 9 years old, 7 years old. And I turned 65 yesterday. And so I've had all those years to have people, when I went walking at times, I've had oranges thrown at me. I've had eggs thrown at me. Moo probably almost every day of my life. Fat pig, blah, blah, blah. And all of that literally, emotionally weighs on you. So if somebody hasn't gone through all of that pain, and not that you need to, because I'd like us to be a cautionary tale. Oh, that could happen to me? Screw that. I'm not doing that. Look at how she did it. She did it with Uber Eats. She did it with French fries. She did it with alcohol. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should do something different. Does that help?
Barb, I love that. See, Barb, that's why we call you the queen. I mean, when you talk, we just listen, because you are just keeping it 100. You keeping it a buck. I mean, you just telling us truth that we need to hear, especially when it comes to this disease of obesity. Paula says, Barb, I saw your post on plateaus. It was so helpful. What advice would you give on breaking plateaus, Barb?
Oh, Paula, if you read it, you know that plateaus are just rest areas. Everything ebbs and flows in the world, and that's what I talked about. Was it everything ebbs and flows? The moon comes full, and then the moon goes dark, and then it comes back again. The oceans go in and out. When a woman's in labor, she has contractions, and then they stop for a little while, and then they go, and then they stop. What we're doing on these medications is we're going and we're stopping. Some people have a longer, and the tree is like the easiest one. In spring it begins, summer it's full, they're falling, the leaves are falling in autumn, and then the winter. The winter is the rest. Some people have a longer winter. Darium and I talked about this. Some people have longer winters because they live somewhere else. If they're in Sweden, they've got a really long winter. If you're down in Africa, you don't have such long winters anymore. So every body is in a different latitude, if you want, in the world, latitude, longitude. And so going off a plateau is doing what your body needs you to do, whether it's movement or nutrition. I don't like the word diet at all. I like the word nutrition. And doing the things that are good for your mind. Of course, sleep. I know sleep is a big one that everybody talks about now, which I don't get. Different story, because of night sweats, because of the cancer. So, and then just being patient. Being patient. When I watch people have hairy cows about gaining a quarter of a pound one week, a quarter of a pound the next week, losing a quarter of a pound, and they're thinking they're on a plateau, chill. You're just resting a little bit. Our body cannot. When you look at my trajectory, it goes like this. That's normal. That's what everything does in life. When you've got a kid, if you've got a kid and they're learning to walk, they crawl, they stand up, they sit down, they crawl, they stand up. Nothing moves linearly. Nothing. Even our heartbeat doesn't do that. Even the years of how old we get, every year is different because the sun moves in a different way. So trying to pressure everything into some kind of straitjacket because you want to see it on the scale, just relax a little bit and enjoy the ride. Do what you know you need to do for your body, for your mind. Journal, get a therapist, learn to do something that you've always wanted to do: knitting, crocheting, painting, drawing, whatever. Doing all these other things instead of just staring at the scale. Oh, the scale makes me crazy, and I weigh every day and write it down. I only weighed once a week when I was losing. But now I weigh every day and I write it down. I have a journal that I keep it in. So anyway, that was a long story. Sorry.
No, Barb. No, Barb. I really love it. And Barb, one thing that this community has done was give us a window into other communities that we may not know about. Like me being African American, being a Black man, you being a Cuban. Other ones out there, we have Pammy, we have Paula, we have Twan. All of us out here are from different walks of life. This community has opened up our eyes to a lot of different things that we go through. I think Pammy and Twan are like gardening besties now. I mean, who would have thought that, if we weren't in these GLP-1 streets? And I know, Barb, I remember one live that I was on with you, and you talked to your audience, and you were like, how me and RMZ and Darium, how we talk from a different point of view when it comes to to different health. And Barb, you and I kind of talked about this before we went live about food,
Yeah.
and in particular, different communities and how food is viewed. And Barb, let's definitely talk about that, because
Okay.
in these streets, I know when I had Shawnee on last week, Doses of Shawnee. And if anybody's a content creator, please put a microphone in the chat. You can do that anytime on my live, because the more we grow, the more it's better for all of us. So if you're a content creator, put that microphone in the chat. Y'all follow everybody. If you're not following Barb, follow Barb, please, because we all in this together. And I appreciate everybody who's been on this live. We've topped almost 43 at one time. So I want to thank you personally, because I don't take this for granted. I know there's many other people out there that you can listen to, but the fact that you are listening to the Queen and myself today, I am honored by that, because you don't have to, and we are appreciative. I never want to give the impression that I'm doing you a favor of me being here. No, you're doing me a favor by listening
I
to me.
think we're just talking, Paul. It's
Yeah.
not favor. I could not, and I know this drives people crazy. While I love the idea of making money, I don't even look at my analytics. I could
Yeah.
not care less. I am there to chitty chat, and that's what I'm there
Absolutely.
for. And so you and I do something called park bench chats. And so we're like sitting on a park bench, you and I right now, and just talking for the camera.
And then when I come visit you in Florida, we're actually going to do a park bench chat
Yep.
together. We're definitely going to do that.
Anyone who comes to Orlando has to let me know so I can take you to a park bench and sit down and and it's not an interview. It's just talking. It's just
Yeah.
talking with each other.
That's what we're going
So,
to do.
the microphones, I wanted to add to that. If you have a Substack or a
Yeah.
blog, to put a pen
I love that.
or a pencil so that we can go follow you. Because Darian has a Substack that is
He does.
amazing, just
Yeah.
amazing.
The
So
message.
Darian or somebody put his little Substacky in there.
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
that right now, because you know what the problem is, Barb. I didn't make anybody a moderator, so I gotta do all that
Oh,
here.
okay.
I'm not
Okay.
that big time yet, but hopefully I get big time one day. But Barb, let's talk about the different communities and
Let's
food.
talk about the food.
Yeah, because when I had Shawnee on last week, Shawnee was like, she wasn't going to not take her shot, because of the holidays, So Barb, let's talk about that and that kind of conundrum that sometimes is in these streets.
Yeah. So I feel the medication is a medication. It is not something that I want to stop, can stop. I mean, I could not, and I've had, like last year alone, I had 4 surgeries. So I've had to go off between 8 and 11 days for 4 different times. And then I also had a colonoscopy. So I had to go off for another 8 days for that one. So I go off periodically, but it's usually for surgery. And the idea of going off during the holidays, my thought all this time has been, I have eaten enough in my life. I do not need to eat anymore. I've had so many sweet potatoes in my life. It's crazy. I've eaten brownies. When I baked brownies for the family, I would make it in an 8 by 9 pan or whatever, one of those big pans. And I would eat it, and then I would make another batch, and that would be for the family. They would never know that I ate it. And then I would just, share and eat a little bit when they were there. I've eaten enough brownies. I do not need to eat any more brownies. I've had enough donuts. I used to eat 12, 13 Krispy Kreme donuts at a time on my way home from Krispy Kreme. And then when I get home, I have another dozen and would eat that during the day, It's almost like I was eating invisible food. So to me, the idea of going off the shot is I wouldn't say I was arrogant about it, but I definitely have talked about it. Why would you want to go off the shot? Why? I don't understand. And then I just read twice in a row because it was so amazing. A book called The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. W.E.B. Du Bois is a very intellectual, amazing Black man from the turn of the century, last century, and from the 1800s to 1900s. And he was amazing. And this book is written by Honoré Jeffers, is her name. And there was not one chapter in that book that did not talk about food. It started in slavery. It's a book all about slavery and the ties, and then the moving into Anglos and Blacks mixing, and moving into all the different colorisms and things like that. It's an 800-page book. It was so wonderful, convoluted, and it also almost won a Pulitzer Prize. So that's how wonderful it is. But in there was not one chapter where there were two people in one space that didn't eat or include food. And so I sat back and watched with my new GLP-1 eyes, where I would say to people, why would you stop doing that for the cruise? Why would you stop doing your shot for Thanksgiving? And I know there's someone in this room right now that I talked to about it, and she's welcome to put her hand up and tell everybody, yes, she did talk to me, because now I'm looking at the Black community differently, which is actually spread out into the Latin community, which is spread out into the Asian community, to see just how important, beyond nourishment, how nourishing the food is in those cultures, and how wonderful it is to be able to honor your family when the peach cobbler comes out, when they put a pecan pie in your hand to take home all wrapped in aluminum foil, when they have baked banana bread, or they make sponge cake or whatever, and send you home with this. Sweets are a huge part of communities, huge. And even in my community, cookies and candy and things like that. Every community has their own. So after reading Love Songs, I have really come to see food in a little bit different. And this is going to sound, and I don't mean that I was really judgy, but I've come to a place of being more kind and respectful of people's traditions. So while I choose not to go off during the holidays, if people choose, as this person that I'm thinking of, and I'm not sure if she's still here, if you choose to honor your culture, I honor you. Mm-hmm. And that's taken me a long time to get there. Thank God for this book, The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. And it was just amazing. And I think that what that did, besides food, was open me up a little bit more to be kind and respectful to something I don't understand. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't understand why you're doing that. I don't understand why you're putting all that food in your mouth. I don't understand. Well, when I had my second cancer diagnosis in May of last year, I went to Wendy's and I had a Frosty. I had not been in a fast food restaurant in over 3 years. Ate a Frosty. And then when I was on the cruise, I ate 6 pieces of pizza. And I don't even remember eating the pizza except for shoveling it in my mouth. That sometimes there are emotional things that go on or sometimes there are aspects of our lives we may not recognize ourselves yet. So I feel that if I can be kind, that gives them, I don't want to use the word grace because that's not what it is. That's grace to me is an excuse, that I'm using an excuse. Oh, I'm giving myself grace. I had, a whole Subway sandwich today. I'm just going to give myself grace, and tomorrow I'll try it again. And that's the diet mentality. And the diet mentality does not belong in a GLP-1 world. It's a totally different animal. But I think that I've got softer since reading that, more gentle, kinder since reading this book. So I don't know if that's what you wanted, but
oh yeah, I mean, that's real talk, and I appreciate that. And Barb, I know you remember that that video I put out, slow and steady or sabotage. I actually lost some of my supporters when I put that out, because I was talking about always saying we're giving ourselves grace, and this is my thing, Barb. I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna speak my truth, and I respect others to speak theirs. And if somebody gonna say something that I don't agree with, it ain't gonna stop me from not watching them, because what made me watch them was their story, their struggle, and I'm rooting for them. But if someone is that shallow that if I say something like that they want to ghost me, and I'm like, cool, go ahead and ghost me. It's cool. I'm not gonna ghost you, because I still ride with you. I rock with you because I want to see you succeed. And I think that Barb, when we look at just how we're doing as a community, you watch a lot of content. You do you study a lot of people's different videos and things like that.
Yeah.
What do you think that we need to do more of in our community to kind of break down the stereotypes that people have when it comes to the GLP-1s? Because I'm sure you have relatives or others out there who say, you on them shots gonna do this, them shots gonna do that. And then when we don't do things the right way, we give them fuel to that fire. So what can we do as a community to not bring shame upon these medicines that have helped us out so much that is changing our lives? What can we do, Queen?
Okay, I'll go to that in 1 second. What I want to say, when you were saying about watching other people and how they do stuff, and in your head, you're just going to say what you say. I've done that. I want us all to remember change is normal. And it's okay if we change our mind later. It's okay if we're like, oh, why did I say that? Because I've had to go back and apologize to people that I've talked to. I go in their email and chitty chat with them, this long about what's going on and what I see and blah, blah, blah. Who am I? Who am I? I am just a person who looks through my eyes. I don't look through their eyes. So I want us to remember, just like reading this book a month ago, how my mind has changed a little bit. So regarding the meds, okay. F the people who say anything about you being on a medication. Oh, thank you. I appreciate your concern. Thank you. My doctor's really happy with what's going on. You should see my labs. This is when the sandwich board wearing your labs comes in handy. It's like, well, you can't see that my hemoglobin A1C has improved by 5 points. You can't see that. That's the medication. No, you can't do it through diet and exercise. If I could do it through diet and exercise, I would have been thin at 7 years old and stayed there. When you go on a diet, what's the diet? Diet, got down, 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 and then back up, 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 just like you're on a roller coaster. That's a diet mentality. And so people are watching you because that's all they know. I think it's going to be about 50 years is what my guess is before people really, the second generation, third generation of GLP-1, they're going to be called obesity management medications. I think it's going to take that long for people to understand that obesity is a disease and that these are medications for a disease. The same thing happened with insulin. Same thing happened with heart medications. The same thing happened when we moved from the horse to the car. It was like, we'll never, ever be able to walk again. If we get a car, we'll never walk again. Not true. So it takes time for things to adjust. And I think that it's going to eventually happen. So caring what anybody says about you and your medication, pretend you're me. just laugh and be like, come on now. I was heading to 400 pounds. You tell them, I'm heading to 400. I was heading to 400 pounds. You think I wanted to get up to 400 pounds before I went on medications? You're high.
I love
You're
that, Barb.
high. It's nobody's business. Nobody's business what you put in your body. Nobody judges anybody. Well, you know that person with asthma? Maybe if he visualized a little bit better, maybe if he practiced breathing more, maybe that asthma would go away.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's so stupid. See, if we put that with obesity, it's the most stupid thing to compare. You just can't even, it's like, I'm sorry. You know, deep breathing isn't going to make me be able to breathe any easier than you giving me a membership to a gym when I'm 300 pounds. It's not, you just can't do that. You have to work with what you've got. And what we've got is medication. And we start there and then we zoom off from there. We build our tools as we're going along. We just go, oh, I've never tried pickleball before. Oh, I've never done that before. Oh, I've never walked. And see, I've got a Fitbit. I don't look at how far I walked until the end of the day. I don't care how far I walk. And it's always between 5 and 7 miles a day. But I don't purposely count anything. That's why I didn't count calories or expenditure or anything like that. That's just not my jam. For some people, hey, have at it. Take my turn. Go for it. But for me, just taking my medication and just being in the world is what I need to do.
I love that, Barb. That's why we call you.
Too much, I'm sorry.
No. That's why we call you the queen. And I have about a few more minutes because I know I got to jump in on a meeting.
You have to go.
But,
yeah.
You know, but you know what, Barb? Let's talk. Speaking of pickleball, let's talk about this. I'm sorry. Let me get to the right picture. Okay. Let's talk about this young lady right here.
That's my daughter, Amy. She's the youngest in the family, and that is me. And that was in 2019, so right before COVID. So I got a little bit fatter during COVID. That's probably about 380 right there. Still 5'1", 380. And that's my daughter, Amy, who is not on a GLP-1, but thinks she someday could have been. But she's not on a GLP-1, and she works hard to stay very healthy as well. She's a vegan. My son Tristan's a vegan. And people in my family definitely. Amy said that my fat definitely made a difference in her choosing to do physical therapy and things like that in college. So my fat did make impacts on the kids, but we just never really talked about it. So,
and you know, I got molded, Barb. I thought that was
a twin.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Picture? Yeah.
No, I thought
that
it
was my baby.
Yeah, I thought it was Megan. I was like, that's Megan right there. Her and Megan look just alike.
Nope.
I was like,
yes, except for Megan's got dark hair, but yes, they do look very similar.
Wow.
My kids have a great grandmother who's Black, they're Dominican. Their dad is Dominican, full-blooded Dominican, and my dad was Cuban. My mom is Swedish, which is why I have the white skin and freckles and blue eyes and all that, which is why I got skin cancer, because I laid out in the sun like a goofball with Crisco on my body in the Orlando sun. So that's where I got that first cancer. Then the second cancer I had is a lymphoma. It's a non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So, but I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really well. I'm very, very happy. And the first question I ask when I come out of surgery is, when can I go for a walk? And they usually say 2 to 4 weeks. And then I'm out 1 or 2 days later. And the doctor, when I go in for my post-op, he's like, when did you go walking? I said 2 days after. And he said, I don't even know why I tell you 2 weeks. Because it's that much in my blood now. I just love moving my body. I love it.
Well, Barb, we have to do this again. I'll make sure I do it on a day where I don't have a board meeting I have to get to, because we can spend a lot more time, because we just scratched the surface. But we're definitely going to do this again. So, Barb, before I let you go, any closing words, any closing thoughts out there for ones who are watching, who are listening? The floor is yours.
I several times during this time that you've been talking, and I have my little, because I've gotten very tearful about how important this community is to me. I don't watch my analytics. That's not the important part. The important part is communication and being able to share what it is that I know. Again, I'm 65 and I've had a gastric bypass. I've been on fen-phen. I've been on diets. I put women's pee in my body. So pregnant women's pee in my body to lose weight. So I just want to share my experiences is all it is. So yeah.
I love that, Barb. Yeah. And Barb,
I'm here.
Yeah, and I know you always watch my replays and everything. So you know what we do at the end. I play the theme song and we dance. Y'all should have seen Barb dancing before we started to go live. Like, Barb was getting it before Barb came on. Barb was listening to some Patti LaBelle, Lady Marmalade. I mean, she was like, Barb was getting into it. So Barb,
I could not dance for 50 years. And when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I grab the owner and I make him salsa with me.
I love it.
And now I can dance because I can stand up. It's awesome. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited that I can move. It's just so cool.
I love that, Barb. And look,
I can put my leg up. I mean, how freaking weird is that? I couldn't get my leg up like that. I know.
Wow.
I feel like I'm in somebody else's body. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Barb, you are so adorable. You are so cute. That's why we love you in these GLP-1 streets. So if y'all don't mind staying on, we're going to go out to the song. Barb's going to do her dance. Thank you. When this goes...
I love you.
I love you more, Barb. And when we release this, Barb's going to be a contributor. So Barb will be able to share this on her stream as well, too. So thank you all so much. We love you all to life. So we're gonna play this music as we go out. And Barb and I are gonna show the comments. Everybody has some fun. So it's Monday, y'all. Love your family, love yourself, and remember, stay healthy, stay safe, and we love y'all to life.
Ready to roll. It's time for the remix. It's time to see that dude Parlay Mateos Lane in Deez Glp-1 streets. Known by many as Paul on wheels. We making it do what it does. Letting people know how I feel. Let's roll. Yeah, we talking health, talking grind, breaking barriers clean. No excuses on the journey, we stay chasing the dream. Get your mind locked in, set your goals on repeat. We got ups, we got downs, but we still don't miss a beat. In GLP-1 streets, we moving with pride. Hear the trends, hear the wins. Got creators worldwide, we make it do what it does. Never stopping to climb, living better every day, one step at a time. Shout out RMZ, always keeping it real. Stereo on with the fire, got that GLP-1 feel. Diddy the downsizing diva, simply Taisha in the zone. Losing the grades, bring the truth, steady holding her own. Calamity Jane slide through, yeah, she bringing the flame. Perfectly Pamela moving strong, everybody know her name. Pammy in the mix too, yeah, we shout her out the same. Teddy D and Toby rolling steady on the rise. G's1 running balls, baby, locked in on that lifestyle prize. Traces of twine, stay consistent every day. Cookie cheering everybody on in a special way. May and Mindy holding it down from the start. Purple bell flowers slid into them jeans, stood apart. Held to the beat, keeping the conscience tight. Barb held at any cost, queen of the streets. That's right, yeah. Chris conquering the scale, yeah, he taking control. Life is shy, glowing steady, body and soul. Reset with honey sub, keeping focus aligned. Grand on his GLP-1 journey review, dropping knowledge every time. Paula doing the thing, staying strong, staying locked in, pushing right along. Just do it, big. You got it, smart. Don't quit. It gets better bit by bit. Ain't me losing it steady, keeping it stride. Bound to me in the mix with that purpose and pride. Jen supporting the crew, showing love front row. Carnival muscle bringing discipline to the flow. Keely Eddie from across the sea. Alonda pushing through, never quitting the seat. My man G with my rolling life on track. Sweet tea singing while she dropping that slack. Vanity keeping everybody on their toes. Welcome TT to the club, that's how it goes. This toy to review, teaching in the classroom and the streets. Mia doing a thing with that grind on repeat. From the south, Kimmy J, now Renee 1C. Lakeisha on the journey, chasing victory. Those is a shawty, steady making play. And Jen in the comments, dropping knowledge every day. And if I missed anybody, just know I love y'all. We'll put you in a remix one day. We'll put you in a remix one day.
Let's go.
Arjadine, Felicia, Murray B, and Joe's cross the sea. Yeah, this GLP-1 movement hits globally. We stay focused on the prize, on the life that we see. Welcome to Deez GLP-1 streets. Y'all ready to roll?
Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day.
It's time for the remix.
Barb, the queen.
It's time to see that dude parlay Madeo's Lane and Deez
Enjoy
GLP-1.
having you on, and everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and we love you all to life. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.